Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to all of my irresistible money magnets. It is Money Talk Monday, so as per usual, we're going to talk money. I know it's been a long time since the last time you got a video. There's been some birthdays, some holidays, some court dates, and some anniversaries, and all kind of shenanigans. But it's a new year, so I have at least 7 Mondays where I'm going to be talking money with you. Once busy season starts on February 15th, we'll see how it goes, but I for sure will drop at least one video a month. The goal is two, so it'll be like every other Monday, but we'll see how it goes. Last time we were together, I told you we were going to talk a little dirty. What I mean by that is we're going to talk bankruptcy because in our culture, and in some other cultures too, bankruptcy is looked as if it is a bad thing, which it is, but it's not the end of the world. You can look at it as a fresh start, and as your right as a U.S. citizen, you have the option to take advantage of this legal process so that you can start fresh and rebuild your credit. So if you don't know or if you're unaware, bankruptcy is a process by which debt is removed from your credit report, it's discharged off, and you're given a fresh start to rebuild your credit. Discharge basically means that you're no longer responsible for the debt. Once the debt is discharged or taken off, a creditor can no longer contact you or try to attempt to collect payment on that particular debt. Some people file bankruptcy because their debts have become unmanageable or their house is in foreclosure, or sometimes there's a mixture of both. Um, as I've said in the past, there are certain debts that cannot be discharged off in a bankruptcy, and some of those things are alimony, child support, certain tax liens, and willful injury to a person or someone's property. So if you go tear up somebody's car on purpose, or you go fight somebody and cause bodily injury to them on purpose, not in defense, but on purpose, those anything they request for you for pain and suffering in the form of compensation, that debt will not be discharged off in bankruptcy. As I said before, in very extreme cases, some student loan debt can be discharged off in bankruptcy, but you basically would have to like say that you're impoverished and you're living like 400 below the poverty line, or you have like $150,000 in student loan debt for whatever reason, and you got a job that only pay you $20,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? Now, for bankruptcy, we're going to be talking about the individual side, personal bankruptcy options. There are two. There's Chapter 7 bankruptcy and Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Chapter 7 bankruptcy calls for all of your non exempt assets to be liquidated, or in other words, sold, and the proceeds from that sale are used to pay off your creditors, right? And then whatever is left after that, whatever debt that's still left after that, then that's just discharged off. Now, non-exempt assets are things that aren't basically necessary for you to maintain um, a living standard. That's not the best word, but that's the word I'm going to use for right now. For example, if you own multiple homes, those additional homes outside of your primary residence can and will be sold off to pay off the debt. If you have more than one car and it's just you, those extra cars will get sold off. You have RVs, boats, ATVs, that kind of extra, not necessarily luxury, but all those extra items can be sold off to pay off that debt. Now, if you don't have extra items, then you don't have any non-exempt items, and what that means is you don't have any assets that can be sold off. All of your debt is just basically charged off and you're no longer responsible for it. Chapter 13. What Chapter 13 does is it allows you to keep those non-exempt items. However, you are assigned a trustee. Trustee will speak with the creditors, and then there is a structured payment plan that is brought about based on how much money you have left over after you pay your bills, things like that. They come up with a structured payment plan. You make a payment to your trustee every month for between 3 to 5 years, and then the trustee deals out the money or doles out the money to those creditors and work together to pay that off. However, during that process, don't think gonna be able to like take vacations and buy extra stuff and wild out. It's not gonna happen. All your extra money is going to those creditors, right? So then, based on the two, you're probably like, oh, well, I want to choose that chapter 7. Baby, no. You're not able to choose. What happens is there is a test that the court will have you do, which is basically called a means test. In the means test, what happens is they're going to take your average income into consideration over 6 months. They're going to consider the median income in your state for your household size. And then based on that, if you meet that criteria, then you can do the chapter 7. But if you live in, say for example, Alabama, it's just you, and you make $200,000 a year, and the median income for that same household size is only $50,000. Baby, they're gonna hit you with that chapter 13. Whereas, let's say you live in California, and the median income for your household size is $300,000, and you're at $200,000. Then you qualify for the chapter 7. So it varies from state to state. They do take that into consideration because, of course, it is a lot more expensive to live in places like California or New York than it is to live in other states. Facts is facts. Now, as I said before, if you happen to have to file bankruptcy, it's not the end of the world. Look at it as a fresh start. I have known several people, and I've instructed 3 of my friends to go ahead and just file bankruptcy like it was the right thing for them to do based on their situation, and they did. And then I was like, okay, now that you done did that, go ahead and get you a secure credit card and just buy little stuff with it, pay it off every month. And then within that, their credit started to be rebuilt, and within 2 years of filing bankruptcy, they were able to buy homes. Was the bankruptcy on their credit report? Yes. It will sit there for 10 years, 9 times out of 10. They say 7 to 10, but everyone that I know who has filed bankruptcy is sat on there for 10 years. But like I said, it didn't stop anything. They were able to buy homes, able to buy cars, able to continue to maintain their life. But they did have that 2-year period where they showed, hey, I got my act together. I'm doing it right this time. And life went on and everything was fine. Now, what I will also say is, if you're considering doing bankruptcy, find a bankruptcy attorney and sit down and talk with them so they can tell you what will work for you and what you will probably qualify for. If you can't afford an attorney, find a paralegal. One of my friends who did the bankruptcy used a paralegal. One used an attorney. One was able to just talk to someone and did all of the stuff themselves. Now, I'm not saying you should be that adventurous, but what you can do is do your own research and figure it out. And if that works for you, it works for you. That is my spiel for the night. As usual, I know I went through it real fast. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at nivea517@gmail.com, or you can DM me, or if you know me personally, you can text me. I'm not giving out that number though. As I end every video, be good or be good at it. Continue to make good choices. I'll see y'all next Monday.